Bushcraft 412, and we're going to do another quick mess kit review on the Snowpeak Titanium mess kit. I've had this one quite a few years now, probably maybe 4-5 years, I'm not sure. As you can see, it's pretty beat up and pretty well used. I do a lot of backpacking. I said it before in videos, I probably am out in the woods between 30 and 50 nights a year. Usually I do a week or two backpacking in the summer. I do winter camping, probably 4 or 5 nights, out of the winter, sometimes more, sometimes less. And then I go, of course, backcountry fishing, where I'll go, trout season, I'll go up into the Adirondack Mountains and do some backpacking and trout fishing. During hunting season, I'll often go and, hike into some of the wilderness areas, 5-10 miles, and just kind of do like a backpacking trip, but hunting as well. So I see a lot of time out in the woods year round, and this is one of my favorite mess kits, because it's a titanium, it's small, perfect for one person, kind of solo trips. Very neat, and I'll show you right here. I have the Swiss M1 stove in it, which is just a little alcohol stove, very similar to Sterno, but a little better quality. This boils water up a little better than Sterno, and these last about 6 hours. So this will actually, one of these, I get them on cheaperthandirt.com for a couple of bucks. This will actually last like 2 or 3 weekend trips, maybe more. Sometimes these will last almost a whole season if you use them sparingly, but I find, they fit in here really good. So I tend to, bring these as well, because I don't always like cooking over a fire with this bad boy. So, because as you can see, it's already pretty sooted up and dirty, so I'm trying to keep it as nice as possible as long as I can so I don't ruin it. So I tend to use these little alcohol stoves with it. It fits in here perfectly, and there's plenty of room for a lighter as well. So you have a nice inclusive kit for a nice weekend trip. So we'll get the Swiss stove out of the way, but I just wanted to show how it nests in there all nice, because you do have room to put stuff in here. The kit has a frying pan with a little wire handle. This is, of course, seen some better days. Not the biggest on earth, but functional. You have a smaller, probably 1.5 cup bowl with a handle as well. Also very heavily used. And the last one, which is probably, as you can see, burnt to hell. Probably in a campfire, which I'm trying. That's why I'm kind of trying to avoid, is because I don't want to completely destroy this. Because it is a nice piece of gear, and I really do enjoy using it. This one also has the wire handles. So all 3 pieces to the kit has the wire handles. And, of course, it is titanium, so titanium is excellent when it comes to weight. The size on this is very good for single meals. This is not something you're going to be able to cook for a whole family in, or you and your buddy, if you're big eaters, are not going to be able to eat out of this alone. But if you're doing solo meals, these are actually very good, just for yourself. And I know people say you shouldn't go alone in the woods, whatever, but I actually do a good portion of my backpacking by myself. I like it. I know it's not the safest idea on earth, but it's just what I do. So you don't have to leave comments saying how unsafe it is. I know. So I tend to bring small little mess kits like this with the little Swiss stove, because it makes cooking a lot easier. You don't have to worry about bad weather. You don't have to worry about wind and stuff like that. It's a really simple system and perfect for one person for dehydrated foods. And as you can see, you can also put these directly in the campfire. I don't like to, because it's really burning the snot out of this, but the cool thing is, if you are going to put this in the fire, you can put it in the fire and use the frying pan as a lid. So if you are cooking, you can, you have a nice enclosed lid. So very cool little system, very well thought out. And Snowpeak is a very nice little company. I think I paid in the neighborhood of like 25 to 30 bucks for this. So no, actually it was probably more. It's probably like 35 or 40. It was an expensive kit, But, you know, with the amount of time I spent backpacking, I actually, you know, despite not having a lot of reviews up for my backpacking gear at this point, I have a ton of backpacking gear, and I'm really trying to play catch up on the reviews for this stuff. But for the amount of time I spent in the woods backpacking, I had to have, you know, a couple nicer kits, and this is one of them. And really enjoy it, and wanted to share it, and just say, you know, what a good kit it is, and how well this thing stood up over the years, you know. So I hope you enjoyed.